Good morning, Stackers. Welcome to Money in the Morning with Stacky Benjamins. Grab your coffee, pop on the headphones, get your personal finance on, because 5 days a week, we're talking personal finance headlines. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy, Average Joe Money on Twitter. Well, today we spun the headline wheel, and we've got a couple doozies, as Mom says. First one, a rapper accidentally makes millions of dollars. And do millennials actually expect a free lunch? People talk about that all the time, but do they really expect a free lunch? Before we get into that, though, today's show is sponsored by the Stacky Benjamins Experience. How about you, me, OG, maybe Doug, and a beach in Florida, especially if you're somewhere where it's cold. It's cold most everywhere lately, hasn't it been? Head in mid-April, tax day weekend, to Clearwater, Florida with us. You're going to go in with dreams of a great financial plan. You're going to come out with a phenomenal financial plan, your budget in order, your financial house in order. More importantly, you'll have a vision of where you want to head. We call it the Stacky Benjamins Experience. One weekend, mid-April, stackybenjamins.com/experience. We got an experience on today's show. It's so bad. Maybe not the best segue, but you got stuff to do, so let's get moving.
Hello, darlings. And now it's time for your favorite part of the show, our Stacking Benjamins headlines.
The first headline comes to us from Complex. I think it's the first time we've ever gotten any of our news from Complex, but I stopped on this piece because it says 50 Cent accidentally, isn't it 50 Cent? Accidentally made millions. Accidentally, I love that, by accepting Bitcoin for his last album. This is written by Eric Skelton. It says, since it was announced in early 2017 that 50 Cent was no longer bankrupt, the rapper turned mogul's financial situation keeps taking wild new turns in positive directions. Last July, he sold a $60 million share in Effin' Vodka, and now it's revealed that he made millions by getting into the suddenly trendy cryptocurrency game. I remember that we did a story about 50 Cent a while ago where he was hiding some of his money to avoid having it go to his creditors when he was in bankruptcy. And so this is kind of fun. I wonder if he had the Bitcoin. Well, I mean, based on this report from TMZ, where I get all my hard news, Fiddy became the first rapper to accept Bitcoin as payment for his Animal Ambition album upon its 2014 release. The project reportedly earned him 700 Bitcoins in total. At the time, each Bitcoin was worth $662. So at that time, he pocketed about $463,000 in sales. That's a nice payday just on Bitcoin. However, obviously now Bitcoin's current value is sitting at around $11,000. His 700 coins are worth over $7 million. Sources tell TMZ that Fiddy left all 700 Bitcoin sitting in his account for years, during which time the cryptocurrency rose. So what's the takeaway here? Well, number one is check out the fact that this article reads like he forgot about the money. And really, isn't that the way that you want to look at your investments, as if you've forgotten about the cash? I remember a couple that I worked with back in the early 1990s, and I'm not going to get the specific numbers right, but these people had forgotten that they'd made an investment in the early 90s. When they became my advisor in the late 90s, I discovered the money. I called them and told them that they had this money, and they were shocked. Number one, they were shocked to hear from me. They hadn't heard from an advisor with this major company I was with in a long time. And number two, when I told them how much money they had, they couldn't believe it because they'd left it alone and they'd done nothing. So in this case, Fiddy left the 700 Bitcoin alone, and look at what happened. Now, that leads me to really the second takeaway, which is we hear about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency as currency. And my question isn't about 50 Cent. It's about the people using Bitcoin as currency. Why? Why, with this stuff gyrating wildly, would I be using it as a currency? Maybe I use it because of the fact that I see the future, and I certainly see the future of cryptocurrency, and I still think it's a ways off, but I see the future of cryptocurrency. But do I think that I want to buy my next sandwich with it, or my next record album from my favorite rapper? I don't think I'm doing that. I think I'm holding it. And that brings me to, well, if I'm holding it, then I look at it as an investment. And I wonder, really, as an investment, what do we have to go on? It screams of something that has very little data. Like I have no data to make decisions around cryptocurrency. But if I'm buying it, I'm buying it and holding it. And I think that our takeaway today is Bitcoin and other cryptos. They call it a currency, still not really a currency for us. Going to say a quick hello to everybody watching in the Facebook Live. We do this live in front of a studio audience out there in Facebook land. Saying hello to some friends. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Dave. Hey, Frank. Good seeing Frank again. We caught up with Frank in Seattle. Didn't get to talk to Frank as much as I wanted to, but great to see Frank. And Frank says that public sentiment is what I think what you're saying, Frank, is public sentiment is what makes it a currency. I think it gyrates too wildly yet to be a currency. I think that as the public embraces it and we see it slow down, much like other currencies that are much more widely held, then I think it's safe to use cryptos to buy your sandwich. Right now, though, man, if I own that stuff, I'm holding it. I'm definitely holding. Our second headline comes to us from Napa-Net, and I found this one clickbaity as a guy who used to be a financial advisor working with clients. Do millennials really expect a free lunch from their financial advisor? I found that wild that anybody would expect why would you expect your advisor to take you to lunch? This comes to us from Napa-Net, the National Association of Plan Advisors, written by Ted Godbout. It says a new study finds that a significant number of wealthy millennial investors literally expect a free lunch or other gift from their financial advisor for being a client, more so than other generations. The report is by the Spectrum Group. It's called Millennial and Generation X Investors Attracting the Next Generation of Wealth. So this is a report written for financial advisors about attracting wealthy clients. And basically what it says is if you're a financial advisor out there, you should be offering people a free lunch because nearly, let me get these numbers, scroll down, Joe. It turns out being taken to a meal was identified as the most preferred type of gift, 54% of millennials, followed by tickets to a sporting event, 41%, and invitation to socials and happy hours, 41%. Nearly a quarter, 24%, preferred tickets to a cultural performance or an art opening. Does that, the thing that frustrates me about this is that people consistently talk about wanting lower fees from their advisor, right? And I often find that it's the same people who wants their advisor to give them the free lunch that also wants lower fees. You realize if your advisor's taking you to sporting events, that money comes from somewhere, right? Where does it come from? It comes from the money you're paying them. So if you enjoy going out with your financial advisor and you want to hang out with your financial advisor, then I guess going to lunch with them is a great idea. Here's what I do like about going to lunch or dinners. I used to do this with my clients, by the way. I took some clients to a IndyCar race. I've taken them to baseball games. Frankly, I've done all these. The NCAA tournament, Thursday and Friday, the first couple of days of the NCAA tournament, I got a couple tables at a sports bar and hung out there all day. One of the 2 days, all afternoon, while the games were on, and people dropped by in the afternoon. Some people dropped by at lunch, some people dropped by for the afternoon, some people came by after work, and I just hung out and met with people. And what I found was that I could do a better job for people when I knew them better. And I actually knew what their goals were, because often people's goals are not what they tell you in a 1 hour meeting, right? When you get to know people, you get to know more about their risk tolerance. You get to know about their personality. And it really affected my advice. So I did like taking people out, but I can't say I had many times where I ever got the feeling that my client really wanted that from me. Like they wouldn't hire me if I didn't. And I certainly didn't advertise that, hey, if you hire me as your financial planner, I'm going to take you to a baseball game, or I'm going to take you out for dinner, as if that's what you want from most financial planners, not really in shape. So I'm not sure that I want to eat like them, right? I saw the way financial planners eat. I don't know that I want them taking me to a restaurant. They like to eat. A lot of us did, but not choosing food, not as great as choosing investments. But maybe instead of you asking your financial advisor to take you out, the more that I think about this, maybe it's in your best interest to ask your financial advisor to go to lunch, go to dinner, and get to know each other on a more intimate basis so that they know a little bit more about you than they'll get at a meeting. And you'll get to know kind of their decision making, or in some cases, lack thereof, right? I just saw a great quote by Abraham Lincoln saying that it's better. I'm going to see if I can get this right. It's beware of rather than open your mouth and prove that rather than open your mouth and have people think you're not smart. I'm not going to get that right. Anyway, somebody in the comments is going to get it, I'm sure. Maybe we'll have it for you tomorrow. I'm running a little long. Let's say hello again to people in the live Facebook audience. Our friend Scott. Scott says, do you think they get a better handle on the advisor's personality? Sounds like a bit too much to me. Yes, I do think that they think they can get a handle on their personality. I also think they think, man, I pay this person a lot of money. I want to find tangible ways to get my money back. I don't, frankly, I'm not really sure. Yeah. Dave got my quote, by the way. He said, it's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid than open it and remove all doubt. Bam. Thank you. Sounds like Dave's got the Googler open for me. And Frank says, I like seeing their desks so I can see how well they're organized with other people's paperwork. That's a scary thing, by the way. If your advisor has other people's paperwork hanging out on the desk while you're in a meeting with them, that's not good. And Gregory has another version of that quote. So thank you, Abraham Lincoln fans. All right, that's going to do it for today, everybody. Got to go upstairs and help mom clean the house. We'll see you back here next time on Money in the Morning.
Money in the Morning is created by Joe Saul-Sehy and is brought to our channels by our producer and engineer, Richie Rutter-Reese. Stacking Benjamins and Money in the Morning are for entertainment purposes. Before making moves, consult with your financial advisor. Looking for training sessions? Kathleen Selmans has a great suite of Stacking Benjamins tools, so head on over to learn.stackingbenjamins.com. Hoping to chat with us on the web? Say hello to Shannon Cowan, our social media guru and community manager in our Facebook group. She can be found at stackingbenjamins.com/basement. From the basement, I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. See you tomorrow.